The topic for the present video is spray drying in the pharmaceutical industry. Spray drying is a process, it is a unit operation which is used for making the solid dispersion. Also, it has many different applications in the pharmaceutical industry. Spray drying is one of the technology which is used to convert the liquid phase or liquid mixture or solution liquid form into the powder form. Also, you can say converting the liquid into the solid. The top example for spray drying can be taken for the milk powder, converting the milk into milk powder. You might have come across the milk powder. So, spray drying is one of the technology that was used to convert the liquid solution or suspension or emulsion into the solid powder. Let's start with the video, and it will be a very informative video to understand the solid dispersion technology by spray drying. Spray drying is a process used to convert liquid formulations into dry powders by rapidly evaporating the solvent by application of the heat. So usually the solvent may be water or organic solvents or hydroalcoholic solution, or it may be a mixture of organic solvents. Spray drying widely used in the pharmaceutical industry, or spray drying is a technology used in the industry for producing solid formulations like powders for inhalation, for powder to be converted into tablets, capsules for oral delivery, and for making the sustained release formulations or modified release formulations. Spray drying process involves spraying a liquid feed into the hot gas stream, causing the solvent to evaporate, and almost it takes place in a very short time. It is a sort of converting liquid into solid particle instantly. This is a schematic diagram for spray drying. This is a spray dryer assembly, and hot air is blown through this area into the drying chamber. This is the drying chamber, and liquid is fed through this nozzle and it is sprayed into this area. So directly it comes into contact with this hot air. This air may be replaced with nitrogen. So this sprayed material immediately come in contact with the hot gas, hot air, and it dries in a very short time. These particles are taken up by the cyclone separator, and this moist gas is exhausted from the cyclone separator. So cyclone separator collects the particle and send it to the product discharge, or you can collect the particles in the collector. This diagram is a very simple type of diagram or image to understand the spray drying process. Now coming to the spray drying process flow. So first is automation, second is drying, third is collection, and four is cooling. Automation of the liquid into the drying chamber. The liquid feed is atomized into fine droplets so that you can get the fine powder particles. And liquid is API plus excipients. Excipients may be solubilizers, wetting agents, and some polymers. So the solvent is selected such that it dissolves API and other excipients like polymers. This liquid is fed into the drying chamber and the fine droplets are exposed to hot gas stream, causing a rapid evaporation of the solvents. The dried powder is collected in cyclone separator or chamber, and it is also sometimes uh, collected into the collector. Many of the times 2-3 cyclone separators are also can be attached, and based on the density differences, the cyclone separator collects the powder. Cooling of the powder is the fourth step. The collected powder is cooled and stored for the further processing. So you can make the intermediate type of powder by using the spray drying process. This intermediate powder can further be dried to get the desired LOD and solvent content and can be used for further processing like making tablets or capsules or other type of formulations. Key components in the spray dry. So what are the parts or main components of spray dryer? Atomizer is there, drying chamber is there, inlet outlet temperature is there, or inlet outlet temperature controller is there, cyclone separator and feeding system. Atomizer is the nozzle or rotary atomizer that breaks the liquid feed into droplets. So atomizer is to spray. The liquid is pumped to the atomizer and this atomizer converts liquid into spray. Drying chamber is the chamber where hot air gas circulates to evaporate the solvent. Inlet outlet temperature is the main process parameter and it is a it is controlled through the temperature controller. Control of inlet and outlet temperatures to manage drying speed and prevent degradation. One thing here is to understand that temperature may degrade the API. Also, if temperature is too high, degradation will be there. If temperature is too low, drying will not be efficient. So, managing the inlet outlet temperature becomes very critical. Cyclone separator collects the dry powder from the gas stream. Feeding system is to deliver the liquid formulation to the atomizer, and feeding systems are the pumps. Applications of spray drying in the pharmaceuticals. Spray drying is a technology used to make the solid dispersion to have solubility enhancement, thereby dissolution enhancement, and which in turn improves the bioavailability of the insoluble materials. Spray drying can improve the solubility of poorly soluble drugs which belongs to BCS class 2 or 4. Many of the times you might have come across formulations of ritonavir, which is a antiviral drug that is made by solubility enhancement technology by spray drying. Also, that can be made by solid dispersion technology using HME. So, as an example, spray drying technology converts the insoluble APIs like ritonavir into amorphous form with higher solubility and bioavailability. Powders for inhalation. Creating the fine powders for inhalation therapy. Example is dry powder inhalants and nasal sprays. So it is one of the most important application of spray drying. Making solid dispersions using crystalline APIs and converting into amorphous solid dispersion for enhancing the drug dissolution rate. Controlled release formulation, modified release formulations can be made by spray drying technique. Stability improvement can be done. Spray drying can enhance the chemical and physical stability of certain APIs. Some of the APIs can be stabilized by spray drying. So now here is to understand that the most important aspect of solubility enhancement by spray drying. So how spray drying enhances the solubility? It is by solid dispersion technique, then making the amorphous form and micro and nanoscale particles. Amorphous formulation. Spray drying can convert crystalline drug into amorphous form, and these amorphous form have higher solubility. Amorphous form can be prepared by spray drying using the different polymers. Solid dispersions. Spray drying creates solid dispersion where the drug is dispersed in a polymer matrix and thereby enhancing the solubility. Micro and nanoscale particles. Fine particles generated by the spray drying have large surface area, thereby promoting the faster dissolution. Advantages of spray drying: rapid solvent removal, scalable and flexible process, solubility enhancement can be done, controlled particle size can be obtained, and it is a versatile process. Rapid solvent removal enables quick and efficient drying, which is critical for maintaining the API stability. Scalable and flexible. So, solid dispersion by using spray drying technology is suitable for both small scale laboratory applications and large scale industrial production. Solubility enhancement. It improves bioavailability of the poorly soluble drugs like BCS class 2 and 4 drugs. Controlled particle size can be obtained. So, precise control can be there by using the spray drying for the particle size distribution. Versatile process. Solid dispersion technology by spray drying can be used for a wide range of formulations like solid dispersions, microencapsulations, and the inhalation powders. What are the challenges and limitations for the spray drying process? So, thermal sensitivity. Heat sensitive APIs may get degraded during the drying process if temperature control is not optimal. So, care must be taken for the heat sensitive and thermolabile APIs. Then another is the cost. The capital investment and operational cost of spray drying equipment can be significant. Another challenge is solvent recovery. Organic solvent may require recovery and recycling, which adds complexity to the process. Also, use of solvents increase the cost of this process and the output product. Process optimization. Spray drying technology requires careful optimization of the process parameters, and critical process parameters are required to be optimized very critically for each of the formulation. So CPPs involve feed rate, inlet temperature, outlet temperature, and spray automation. Then viscosity of the input material. Many of the times nitrogen is required. Also, safety considerations are there whenever you are operating spray dryer and using the organic solvents. Atomizer design has great impact onto the powder output, mainly onto the particle size of the output powder. Many of the times, secondary drying process is required to the powder or to the outlet powder, because many times complete drying cannot be obtained by the spray drying process. So whatever the output powder you get, it may be having higher content of solvent or LOD. Secondary drying is required to remove the excess solvent and to get the dried powder. This is one of the most important challenge. Key formulation considerations for spray drying. So choice of excipient, viscosity of feed, solvent selection, optimization of processing conditions are the key considerations. Suitable excipients should be there for spray drying. Polymers like HPMC, PEG, HPMC acetate succinate, HPMC acetate phthalate, and many others are used to make the solid dispersions. Polymers are selected critically as these improve the solubility and also have impact onto the stability. Whenever you are working onto the amorphous solid dispersions, that time conversion to the amorphous form and retaining that amorphous form is very important consideration. Viscosity of feed. The feed viscosity must be optimized to ensure proper atomization and consistent particle size. If you use too viscous feed, you will not have uniform particle size of the dried material. Also, gun choking will be there, or feed system will not work properly. If you use too thin feed, then solvent required will be more. Solvent selection. Water is commonly used, but organic solvent may be required for specific formulations. So solvent should be selected such that it dissolves the API as well as the polymer. Optimization of processing conditions. Key parameters like inlet outlet temperature, feed rate and atomizer type need to be optimized. So these are the key formulation considerations for spray drying. What are the applications of solid dispersion and inhalation? So spray drying provides solid dispersion and inhalation products. Solid dispersion spray drying is widely used to create amorphous solid dispersions of poorly soluble APIs for enhanced resolution. The examples are ritonavir, telmisartan, enzalutamide, and many others. Inhalation powders. Fine powders are produced by spray drying, are ideal for respiratory drug delivery systems such as dry powder inhalers, commonly called as DPIs. Nasal sprays. Spray drying products are fine powder and can be used for the formulations for nasal delivery, offering rapid onset of action. Coming to the regulatory considerations for spray dried products, many guidelines are there for manufacturing spray dried formulations, especially for inhalation and solid dispersions. Stability studies. Spray dried formulations require extensive stability testing to ensure the API contains effective amount of API, that is potency, and also remains effective over the shelf life period or over the time period. Bioavailability study. Data on dissolution and bioavailability are critical for approval of the spray dried formulations. If you are working on to the amorphous formulations by spray drying using the solid dispersion technology by spray drying, then dissolution over the shelf life or expiry period is critical for the bioavailability. Particle size and distribution. Regulatory authorities often require specific criteria for particle size distribution, particularly for the inhalation type of formulations. Coming to the examples of spray dried products and case studies. Inhalation products, DPIs for asthma and COPD management, amorphous solid dispersions with the APIs like endomethacin, itraconazole, where spray drying enhances solubility. Also, telmisartan is there, enzalutamide is there, ritonavir is there, and many others. Protein and peptide formulations. Spray drying is used to stabilize proteins and peptides for oral and inhalation delivery. So, in conclusion, spray drying is a versatile and scalable technology widely used in the pharmaceutical manufacturing. It offers several benefits including solubility enhancement, stability improvement, and precise control over the particle size. Considering the challenges like thermal degradation of heat sensitive APIs and high equipment cost, it is advantageous to make an essential tool for many pharmaceutical applications. Spray drying plays a crucial role in enhancing bioavailability and enabling new drug delivery systems. So if you want to compare the HME versus spray drying process, then you will understand that spray drying operates at comparatively lower temperatures than HME, while HME doesn't use solvents. So that is the main advantage of HME, but it operates at higher temperature. So HME, that is hot melt extrusion video, is also available on the channel. You can watch that video. Also, I have made a video on solid dispersion, so you can go to that video also, so that you will have complete idea about these topics. In conclusion, spray drying and hot melt extrusion and some other methods are there for making the solid dispersion for solubility enhancement. Out of the HME and spray drying method. Both have some advantages and some disadvantages. So based on the product requirement, product criticality, and considering the API behavior or drug behavior, we can select the solid dispersion technology, that is HME or spray dry. So this was the video on spray drying technology. I hope you might have got good idea about this topic, and I am very much thankful to you, to the viewers, for watching the channel videos and sharing these to your friends and colleagues. Also, I am happy to see your comments. Thank you.